Oh, that works. Nice.
All right, welcome to the Side Action, episode 22 of season 6. My name is Jim Weglars, aka Wegs. You can follow me at Wegspool on Twitter and on Instagram.
And I'm Coop. You can check me on Instagram at Dalton Cooper, on Twitter at Mr. Grumpy Gills. We are the Side Action Podcast. Check us out on Twitter at Side Action Pod, and on Twitter at Side Action Podcast. Well, it's not the beach.
It's not the beach, but there's something that's obscuring the screen in the lower level.
Oh,
here. I can't see.
Can't
see.
You mean the?
Oh my God! There it is.
She's home. We the 18-team league.
That's big.
This is what we set out for. So we
Fantasy League champion. Look at that thing.
We are we're excited to have her. She's like I said, she's home. So we're gonna have a lot of fun this summer.
Congratulations. Did you get like an initial on there, or you just get to carry it around?
You know what? I might have to throw a plaque in here, maybe on the backside because Chase was the original winner. So shout out to Chase. He won the first year. I'm the second winner of the belt. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this in the summer.
Yeah, you're gonna have it everywhere. You just take it everywhere. It's like the Stanley Cup. You gotta take it to the bar, drink off of it, maybe like a shot off of it or something.
I'm thinking like Stone Cold beer, absolutely. So we're excited. This is what all the season came into, all the hard work, all the midnight waiver wire actions, and the nice thing is everybody else is in Central Time, everybody else is in Eastern Time in the league, and I'm in Central Time, so I can kind of snipe people on the waiver wire.
It's too late for them.
Yeah, it's too late for them, unfortunately. So
congratulations.
Thank you. It's exciting. I'm glad to have it. So
and then some money too, I hope.
Bragging rights. It's okay.
Just bragging rights?
It's a work league, We're here for camaraderie. Come on. All the money went into this thing.
I know. That's not nothing. I mean, it's got some weight to it.
It's a $300 belt. So
I know. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't get robbed on the bus on the way over.
Oh no, I drove.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're big time. We're champions now.
Oh, that's
champions
true.
Don't take the bus.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes champions do take the bus if they have
the double-decker bus.
Yeah.
Champagne at the top. Well, great. Well, hey, we got back last week. We were in Florida.
Oh yeah.
Had a good time. It was a little cooler. We obviously recorded there last week. Here we are Friday again recording. So, had a good time. Had some good games. There was some dancing that was had. There was
some banter.
Some games.
I still can't remember the name of that damn game, but we talked about it last week. The Caliente or something.
Caliente version of Piccolo.
The Saturday night was fun.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Barsha had that incident. That was kind of
a
shit show.
I mean, shout out to whoever tried to help her, but the jerk store that pickpocketed her sucks. So
it's ridiculous. And then
she's back in Chicago.
Yeah, is she okay? Good to hear. And then I can't remember Rodrigo. No, who was the? He's from Peru. He's still down there. It was me and him Saturday night with all the ladies.
Okay, yeah. Gerardo.
No. Gerardo. So me and him, shout out. It was a good time Saturday night. We took all the ladies out, so that was fun.
Yeah, you went to. I didn't make a Good Night John.
Yeah, Good Night John Boy.
There's one in Chicago. We got to check it out.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, there's one in West Loop now.
Gotcha. But yeah, it's a good time. Nice, like 80s. It's kind of like a rich man's holiday club in a way, at least from like the music choice, I would say.
Okay.
So, that was fun. Played some ball.
Yeah, played some ball. When did you get back?
I got back Sunday night, and then I drove to Ohio that same night. So I got back. Pacheco was on the same flight, luckily.
Okay.
Shout out to Basement Mike. He picked us up, and that's what Pacheco called him. So shout out to Basement Mike, loyal listener, long time.
Yeah,
first time, long time.
Yeah, not a caller yet, but first time for
first time shout out getter. So then I probably left. I left here probably around 7 or 7:15ish, and then got to Ohio about 12:30. So
wow, you're an Iron Man.
Yeah.
Then you drove back Wednesday.
Drove back Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, luckily. And
then, I got back. It was early. It was an early flight. I did not get a lot of sleep.
No.
Everybody was having fun, and I barely slept. And then I'm shocked that Julie got up. I was shocked. Yeah. Julie was out with you guys. And,
me and you both.
Julie. She
trooper.
She's chemical advantage. She has chemical advantage.
Yeah.
There's something in whatever those lollipops that she consumes readily. But yeah, we made it to there, Eric and I. So it was nice. And then I just kind of vegged out, watched some games. Took like 3 naps through the day. I was just slept till like noon, but it didn't work out. So, but yeah, now this week's been interesting. Some activities, some outings, and then we're gonna have a big outing tonight. Sorry, we'll talk about it. Sorry, you're not gonna quite make it, but you'll do the after party, which is more importantly. That's okay. So who are we taking to the shed this week? We've got a nice long list. Your shed is large, which is fine and should match your
compensating
club dub. No.
So, but no, I guess to start the shed, we're going to start with Adrian Griffin. He got fired by the Bucks on Tuesday. Let go of halfway through his first season. So I don't think anybody fires coaches faster than the NBA, to be honest with you. Just to think about it from that kind of standpoint.
They're not that valued, the coaches.
No, well, and I mean they kind of had good reason. They were a top 5 defensive deficiency team, or defensive efficiency team throughout the last 3 seasons, and this year they're in the bottom half, or the bottom 20, 20 or worse in every other statistical defensive category. So.
Right.
Things are not going well. They're hopefully they brought in Doc Rivers, which a lot of people were actually saying that was actually a really bad move by the Bucks.
He was already like a special consultant,
advisor or some crap like that.
He was lobbying for another job is what he was doing, and it worked.
Right. No. So it's I think he was in TV almost for a minute too.
Yeah, he's always around.
So we'll see.
Private proviso East, he's a local.
Right. So we'll see how that goes. I honestly don't think it's going to do them any good.
I don't know if it matters. Celtics pretty good.
Yeah, the Celtics are good. I mean, hell, even the Pacers are good. So we're also going to take the Nuggets to the shed. So the Nuggets lost to the New York Knicks the other night, 122-84. It was actually tied for the largest margin of victory against the defending champion in New York's Knicks history. So Jokic had 31. The rest of the team had their worst shooting night in 4 years. So, 84 points was like the least amount of points scored in the league in a minute.
They only got 53 other points besides Jokic.
Oh, yeah. So they had a rough night. They got taken to the shed. They looked bad body language all night. But I guess when you're getting beat by 50, that happens. And then we're going to take the Bills to the shed. You know, we're going to obviously get into this here in a minute. But I was doing some math, and like I do, getting the stats department going. And Josh Allen had last couple of years had an $18 million cap hit. And then a couple of years before that, it was a $6 million cap hit. Next year, going into next year, he's going to be at $47.1 million on the books.
Maybe just restructure that.
And they have 20 free agents. And I guess guys retiring, whatever you want to call it. So coming up. So to say this team is going to be,
it'll be different.
The window is definitely closing on this team. That obviously includes Stephon Diggs and Von Miller, who both of them are kind of invisible to this point. So, but yeah, that's it's pretty exclusive shed list this week, but I think it's all very deserving.
Yeah, very deserving. I mean, I'm on that vein. I had the 2 kickers that were terrible last week. We had we'll start with your Bills kicker, Tyler Bass, who reminiscent of the 1991 Super Bowl when they had a chance to beat the Giants, and what would have been the Bills if they win that?
And they win one.
They win the first one. Instead, they miss it wide right, and in this case, Bass had his chance to tie the game. They might have still lost the game. We know that the Chiefs could have had a chance to come back, but you got to kick a 44-yard field goal. This is the pros, guys. Yeah. And he didn't make it. Wasn't even close. He didn't hit an upright. He didn't hit a crossbar. He sliced it like I do off the first tee. Right. Like, woo! Watch 4. Watch out over there.
The laces were in.
Yeah, they were in. Looked like a fine hole to me.
Man.
So he's out. And Anders Carlson. This may not have impacted the game as directly as the other one, but would have put up Green Bay by a full touchdown. He's been bad all year. This rookie. I guess they're going to bring him back, but he's garbage. He's brothers with the other Carlson, who's actually a pretty good kicker. Yeah. This guy. He hooked that one to give them that chance after that big Aaron Jones run. They had a chance to go up by 7, hooked it, and I think that kind of gave the Niners hope, and they came back and won that game. So, sorry, guys. You have one job to do. Kick the damn ball. So, see you later, suckers. Better luck next year.
Get them out of here.
Well, Club Dub for me, I know who I'm going to go. And I was just listening to VSiN, the Vegas Sports Information Network. The owner of Circus Sports is, Derek Stevens. He's kind of a wealthy guy. I don't know if you
keep his thing.
He's done Circa. He bought the Golden Gate, and then he built Circa. Right, incredible place. Well, he's a Lions fan. Lions fans across America, come on into Club Dub just for 1 week. You're probably going to be out by Sunday.
Wow.
But I mean, you haven't been to the NFC Championship game since 1991 against Washington, and it's the Barry Sanders days. So the Lion Pride, as they call them, they've got the 2 wins. They played good enough to win the other. We'll talk about them more later. But you guys as fans, you've had to endure a lot of stuff. Haven't won a championship since I think it's 57, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely since the 50s. So hey, welcome to Club Dub. Enjoy the beverages. It could be short lived, but you're in here for now.
Yeah, for now. Jim Oswald live it. Has it been open since what, Monday? Probably.
I'd say Monday. We opened them in. I saw that Erica chant. Not that she's listening.
Yeah, the club's going up on a Tuesday.
She's got the Lions shirt going on. There's a couple. All of a sudden, everybody's a Lions fan.
I know.
Nobody was a Lions fan the last 20 years in this town.
And it's
and everybody's a Lions fan. So welcome, Pride. Come on into Club W. We got a special Lions area. It's almost like a gladiator pit.
The Lions Den.
Lions
Den. There you go.
Lions
Nice.
Den.
I like that. Well, to start off my Club Dub, we're going to start with Joel Embiid. He scored 70 Monday night in case you missed it against the Spurs. First ever 70, 15, and 5 game in NBA history. So not even Will. Yeah, I'm going to say not even Will accomplished that. So also I'm going to put Matt LaFleur. And you took the kicker to the shed. I'm going to put Matt LaFleur in Club Dub. The Packers were right there. It was not because of a lack of preparation or putting guys in the right position.
Great game plan.
And then moving forward, that lights are bright in Green Bay. Things are looking up.
Get rid of the kicker.
Yeah, and they already fired Joe Brady, so they've already moved on from him. So you can hopefully anticipate that defense getting a little bit better.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and put Matt LaFleur in there. He's I think cemented himself. We were all kind of curious if it was just Aaron making him look good.
Right.
And this year, I think definitely cements that he actually is a good coach. He's got a good understanding and and everything else.
Yeah.
So we're also going to put the AFC West in Club Dub. So the Chargers, the whole AFC West, because now you have Andy Reid, you have Antonio Pierce who got hired. Now you have John Harbaugh to the mix. Jim Harbaugh on top of Sean Payton.
Not bad.
That's a really good mix of coaches. Obviously probably Pierce is probably the.
I know. I feel bad. Like he had a great year. He took his team to almost a playoff berth when they were sucking, and now he's like the worst coach in the division.
So we'll see how it moves, how it's going moving forward. But I think looking at it now from a micro or from a macro aspect, like that is by far the best group of coaches in the league in that division. So
really good.
Shout out to him. And then also the South Carolina women's basketball. They had a nice game last night against LSU. They came back. But the fun part about this and why I wanted to put them in Club Dub is they're kind of like the Chiefs of women's basketball. So they've been down 10 or more at 10 different points of the games the last 3 years.
Wow.
And all those games, they're 10-0. They come back and have won every single game.
Yeah, that's the time to get the money line.
So, exactly. So, any of those degenerates out there like ourselves,
Don Staley, great coach.
It's definitely time to jump on the bandwagon. So, that was Club Dub. And then stat of the week. So, I don't know if you stayed up and watched a little bit of tennis like I did last night. I'm kind of a...
You're a tennis head?
Oh, yeah, I'm a racket head. Yeah, I'm a racket head. So, I was...
Australian Open.
Down under, if you will. Before his loss last night, Novak Djokovic, do you know how many games in a row he had won in this Australian Open tournament?
How many games? So he
or how
just
many
going
sets?
6-0
Yeah.
or sets?
How many sets he had won?
I don't know, 15?
So he had won 33 straight going into that. So it had been almost 3.5 years since he had been beaten in Australia.
Wow.
So the COVID year was excluded, obviously, because he's not vaccinated.
He lost 3 to this guy. Nice work.
So he got beat last night. Yeah, Yannick Skinner, the Italian. He's he's going to the finals. 22 years old. He actually lost to Novak in the Wimbledon semifinals last year.
Oh, so he knows this game.
He was talking a lot about how that loss, kind of prepared him for that match last night. He jumped out 2 sets to 0 real quick, and it was smooth sailing.
What was it? What did he end up winning? Did he win?
He won 3-1, I think. Yeah, he won the 4th set and ended up beating him there. So Djokovic won the 3rd set on an 8-6 tiebreaker, which was really, really good to watch. But that was your stat of the week. I thought that was amazing. 33.
Wow, 33.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Sets. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I haven't won a single set of tennis.
Right. Well, he's the GOAT, man.
Yeah, he is.
He's the GOAT.
I know.
The Serbian GOAT.
He's got the good hair too. What are you gonna do?
The guys run forever. That's what's incredible to me is just the amount of cardio and stamina those guys have.
Those guys can just
insane.
That's why Isaac's a good volleyball player.
So
I didn't update it. So let's go divisional round weekend, last weekend recap. First of all, home teams 3-1. The only exception was the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So and the Chiefs apparently doesn't matter where they play. But these road teams have been kicking butt in the playoffs for the most part. But against the spread, it was a split, 2-2. The Dogs came through. We have the Chiefs. We'll talk about the Pack in a minute. And then the total split down the middle. So, this Vegas loves the situation. You know why? Because they're making money regardless.
Right.
They're making the vig at least. Not a lot of surprises per se. I mean, the Chiefs, you could argue, but that was a pretty close game anyway going in. So if we go over this, you obviously stayed hot, buddy. 4-0, nice work.
Yeah.
You had
7-1, yeah.
Yeah, you're kicking butt. I think it's more than that. Is it 7? I thought it was more than that.
It might have been more than that, but
I think it's I'm short-changed it all. It's 9-1.
Is it really? Oh man.
I think it's 6 games the first week.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, I mean,
so, yeah, we've been
9-1.
We've been hot.
You've been red hot. I did not do so great. That was one of 3 this week against the spread.
We know
straight ups is good.
Listen, you drive this bus. I just happen to offer all the insight. You know what I mean? But you are definitely, you're driving this bus. So don't let anybody tell you different.
Well, we'll go with the first one. Baltimore, they were laying 9.5. I thought it was a little bit much, but in the first half, it was a little bit much. It was 10-10 at the half. That was mainly off the punt return that we talked about at the Texans. We were watching this game. Yeah. And then finally, we were kind of yelling about it at halftime. Run the goddamn football. I don't care who runs it, but Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, or Dalvin Cook, sure, give him the ball. And they just kind of took over that game and just dominated in the second half. I mean, I give what's his name? Coach, whatever, Ryan's a lot of credit. He came out and blitzed a lot in the first half, and they did not anticipate that. Oh. And that really shut down the offense, but they made the adjustment, which shows me something for them. They won easily 34-10 going away, 24-0 in the second half. Not a bad way to finish the game. Yeah. Lamar looked good. He had 4 total touchdowns. I'm not sure there's much more to say, but obviously the Texans, an ascending team for next year, but they won a playoff game. They played good in the first half. It shows me something.
Packers Texans Super Bowl next year?
Oh yeah,
you get a really early future now. I mean, you could depending on what free agents and what they can get in the draft. I mean, those are 2 teams you're gonna have pretty good.
I mean, they'll be the division winners. So they got to play a tougher schedule. We'll see.
That's fair. But yeah, no, I mean, from a Houston side, I mean, obviously it stinks. They didn't score an offensive touchdown in this game, so definitely outmatched. Did they score an offensive touchdown at the beginning of the season when they played either? Because I feel like it was like 27-9 or something like that. So
I think they might have scored.
Like garbage time.
In this particular game was weird. They got to the 30-yard line, the 26-yard line, like 4 times. They just could not get across. They either missed field goal or they went for it several times. They got stuffed. So it's not like they weren't moving the ball, but at some point you got to go in the green zone. You got to skip that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, and like I said, they're more on the up and up. But man, that Ravens defense they're so good. They're physical. They're tough to match up with. It's going to be really interesting to see how Kansas City goes about that this weekend.
For sure. So then the next game, Green Bay was obviously at San Francisco. Green Bay was a 9.5-point dog, and we kind of talked about that. We did like them as the dog there. And they came out, like you said, LaFleur had a great game plan. They were just squeezing the clock. I mean, the game was so short in the first half. Like all of a sudden you look up, it's already halftime, but they still were losing in the first half. 7-6 because they only got field goals in that to start. But in the second half, they built a nice lead. They were actually up by 7 points early in the fourth quarter. And the big stat, Shanahan teams down by 5 points or more in the fourth quarter, they're 0-30. Yeah. So you thought, hey, this looks pretty good for Green Bay. But hey, a couple of mistakes, I guess. Love had a couple of interceptions there, and more importantly, the kick. And then the defense just couldn't hold up. I mean, as much as we talked about, okay, they've had a good game plan, the D is still pretty sorry for the Packers. And they finally gave McCaffrey the ball. He had that 50-yard scamper, and then Brock Purdy, who looked terrible. By the way, if Brock Purdy plays in the rain, let's bet against him.
Yeah, seriously,
because he was terrible. But he had the one good drive, made a couple passes that got it done. They won the game. They won the game 24-21. But it was looking pretty bleak for a while there.
Yeah, and if you look at it moving forward, Brock Purdy is by far the worst quarterback left in the playoffs. Like, it's not even close between him, Jared Goff, and Lamar and Patrick Mahomes. So we're definitely going to see moving forward going into this weekend to see. Obviously, the weather's going to be a little better, but we don't know about Debo. So, but yeah, it just, I don't know why, but it seems like last couple games they've gotten away from running the football early. It seems like they want to come out and spread the offense out and start throwing the ball, which makes no sense when you have the best running back and you've got a good tight end and you can really play some, ball possession with a good defense. But
yeah, I mean, I
guess he knows more than I do.
I mean, and the other thing was, like, kind of alluded to it. Debo went out, I think, on that he had one big play and he got hurt. Yeah. Right. So that kind of changed their game plan. But you could probably figure it out. It took them like 3 quarters to figure out how to do it. Yeah. I mean, give me a break. So I agree. They should have run the ball more, especially against the Packers. This week's going to be tougher against Detroit. They're better against the run. So then Detroit, that's a segue, by the way. Sunday, Detroit.
That's why you drive this.
They were 6.5-point favorites at home. This game played out about how I thought it was going to play out. They didn't end up covering Tampa, but it was slow to start the scoring, and then all of a sudden in the third quarter, it was just score for score. It was really fun in the second half. Baker went off, 340 yards passing. Mike Evans went off too. Yeah. But they kind of couldn't hold serve, and Detroit had back-to-back touchdowns. And they actually scored like 4 touchdowns in a row, I think, at one stage, or maybe it was 3 in a row to build the lead. And then they ended up holding on the key 2-point conversion. Let's face it. a lot of money changed hand, the 2-point conversion. When you're down 14, you're supposed to go for 2. And that's what Todd Bowles did. He did what he was supposed to do. Down 31-23. They didn't get it. Doesn't get the cover. But they had a chance. They had the ball again.
Yeah.
They actually got them to punt. But some weird clock management at the end. I don't know if you probably heard all about this, that Bowles didn't use his final timeout.
Yeah.
Whatever. But in the end, the Lions win 31-23. Congrats to the Pride. And Baker Mayfield, he just made himself a lot of money.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd be interested to see what they do moving forward. I think Tampa's got to get a little bit younger, probably in the secondary. But I mean, they got some good core parts. I mean, they stopped the run well, which is obviously, if you look at all 4 of the teams left, that's their first priority is to stop the run. So they definitely have some good building blocks, and I'm curious to see how next year, how much you want to downplay this team when I tell you that they're actually good. So,
and then Canales obviously got a head coaching job. We'll see how influential that guy. Roused to start him 1-year offensive coordinator, and now he's coaching the Carolina Panthers in this one. So it's pretty clear that the Detroit guy, the offensive coordinator, is probably going to be the coach, probably in Washington. I think that's the word. Ben Johnson. Yeah. I mean, we didn't talk about Belichick and all that, but there's been a lot of coaching hires, but Belichick is not one of them. But I've heard Ben Johnson to Washington.
Ben Johnson. You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here first.
Journalism.
That's right. Last game, Kansas City against the Bills. What a great game. Great football game. Let's face it. Awesome football game. Back and forth. Just crazy game. Early in this game, it was very apparent that Buffalo's defense, with all those injuries, could not stop the Chiefs, which the Chiefs hasn't been that great on offense, but they just were doing whatever they wanted. I mean, they finished at 7.7 yards per play, but at one time in the game I looked, it was like 9.9 yards per play, because that includes the kneel downs at the end of the game and stuff. So they actually just dominated the Buffalo defense, but Buffalo did what they needed to do. They ran the football 37 minutes, so they had the ball in this game and still had a chance to win or tie the game. And, of course, I think the big play was when late in the game, they're down by the 3 points. Buffalo's driving in the fourth quarter. They kind of get stymied. Finally, Spagnuolo had a couple of drives where he stopped this offense. But there was a play he had, what's his name?
Diggs?
It wasn't Diggs. It was the other guy. It was Shakir.
Oh, Shakir. Okay.
And he had him over the middle for that touch, but he kind of got hit.
When he's rolling out?
Well, no, he's rolling out. When he's in the pocket, it was second down, I think. Yeah, second down. He had him over the middle. It was the same play Gabe Davis scored a couple years ago, but he got hit when he threw it, so the ball was short and it landed like in the end zone, about 3 yards short of the receiver. That was the key play. They score there, maybe they get a touchdown and see what happens. But either way, Kansas City wins this one 27-24, and I'm surprised McDermott. I'm surprised he get fired. Honestly,
I'm surprised they don't hire Bill Belichick. That's where Bill needs to go, is Buffalo.
Of course,
I
agree with you 100%.
That's the only place that I see. If it's not Atlanta, it's Buffalo.
They've hit. You're talking about the financial structure of the team, but they've definitely hit a plateau, right? And I don't think it's. Let's face it. And I mean, whatever, you can say what you want to say about the cap hit with Allen. It's not Josh Allen.
No,
it's the defense. They couldn't stop him that year with the 13 seconds. They can't stop him at home. The crowd going crazy.
Snowballs flying.
Yeah, you can't stop Patrick Mahomes. These guys don't have any receivers. Everybody caught the ball, though.
Finally, right?
Finally, right? But they've hit a plateau. So I feel bad for the Bills Mafia. But, Patrick Mahomes, 9-1-1 against when he's a dog.
Yeah, he is. He's just. I think he was like 13-4 in his playoff career now, or something like that.
He doesn't lose.
Yeah, and he's been there 3 years. He's been the starting quarterback for 4 years, and he's already got more playoff wins than Peyton Manning.
That's insane.
So, and that's
it's six. It must be more than that, because it's 6 straight. This is their 6th straight AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So he's in all those 6 games.
Right.
So he's got to be more than 4. Yeah, he's been incredible.
Yeah, but I think I saw that he's already like 2nd or 3rd in all NFL history in playoff wins already.
Yeah, he's won at least 2 playoff games in every single time.
Insanity.
So yeah, and then we'll talk about your big parlay. Your parlay.
Oh yeah, the tight ends, the trio of tight ends that hit. So we had Likely, Kittle, and Kate Otten. So I don't know.
When at first I thought you had the other tight end. I thought you had Laporta. When he scored, I was like, he got it. I'm like, I should have got Otten. But Otten still scored.
Otten still scored. We knew better. We knew it was in there. Everybody was going to be on Laporta, so we took Otten, and it worked out.
Plus 2,034.
Yeah.
Nice number.
Yeah, I like it. Just the way we like it. So yeah, we got a couple more this week that we're hopefully gonna get for the squad.
Let's get in there. So Championship Sunday, we got 2 games. We got a 2:00 game in the Central Time and like 5:30 the second game, kind of weird times. Let's talk about some of these injuries, because I think they may be impactful. First of all, the Ravens are pretty healthy overall.
Oh, yeah.
I think Humphrey's going to play too, but Mark Andrews is not even on the injury report. So he's playing. And I know he got on the field last week?
No.
Yeah, so he's definitely playing this week. That gives them an added element against the Chiefs. But the Chiefs, on the other hand, have some injuries. They've got Willie Gay, who he's limited. He is practicing a little bit. He got hurt in that game. Couldn't stop, Josh Allen, in the middle. L'Jarius Sneed has a calf issue. I think he's going to play. But, Pacheco didn't practice yesterday, which kind of worries me. But more importantly, Joe Tooney got ruled out today, their guard. Yeah. That's kind of big.
Yeah, he's probably their second best offensive lineman after Creed Humphrey.
Yeah. And then the Lions, Laporta's definitely probably going to play. He's limited, but he's been playing. But Frank Ragnow is actually off the report. He was on the report yesterday. Now he's off. But another guy, Jonah Jackson, their offensive guard, out. Is out. That kind of sucks because they really rely on that offensive line.
Yeah, and the guard position, if you're going to miss somebody, you'd rather miss a guard than a tackle. So
sure.
As good as the rest of the offensive line is, obviously that's going to be a hindrance, but I don't think it's going to be the main difference.
Yeah, I mean, if you lost Ragnow and that guy, then you're in trouble. But Ragnow was banged up last week and said at the end of the game. And he was battling Vita Vea,
Right, yeah, that's
toe to toe.
Yeah, a 340-pound bear.
So then San Francisco, Deebo is still on the report. He is limited. He likely will play. He hasn't been ruled out in any kind of fashion. To his shoulder, I just don't know how effective he's going to be. It's going to be, to me, he's going to be more of a decoy than he's actually going to be. He's definitely not going to be carrying the ball. But he might, get the ball thrown at him.
I could definitely see more of the decoy aspect, kind of, like again, he's like a poor man Tyreek Hill.
Right. So okay, let's get into these games. The first one is the Kansas City at Baltimore game. A lot of hoopla in this game. We talked about the sixth straight for the Chiefs in this game. This one is their first one on the road. Baltimore, now the line's up to 4. Okay, it's up to 4. It was 3.5. It opened at like 3, and then 3. It went to 3.5. It hasn't really come back down. It's gone up to 4, which is a little bit strange because all of my metrics show all the bets and money are on the Chiefs. So this is what we call a reverse line movement. That doesn't feel good for Kansas City. I'm not sure why. If the line's going up and people are betting on them, the line's going up. That's weird. But anyway, you want to throw out this stat before we kind of dig into this game.
Yeah, we looked at the playoff stats last week, and Baltimore's defense actually played the least amount of snaps. They've only played 49 total snaps last week against Houston. So yeah, they're the freshest team by far in the playoffs. They even got a first round bye, and Kansas City actually played 79 snaps against Buffalo. So they actually had the most out of any team that played last week. So, and even from the injury standpoint, I think it's really tough because Willie Gay is their signal caller, and he usually is the one that plays spy whenever they play more mobile quarterbacks, such as like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and so on. So, yeah, it's tough. It really, there's so many things going in favor of the Ravens right now.
Right, and I guess here's the way I look at this game. Look, all the metrics to me tell me Baltimore's a better team.
No,
they're better on defense, they're better on offense. Okay, so why would you pick the Chiefs? It's Patrick Mahomes. Now, but I will say Spagnuolo is a really good defensive coordinator. He's going to figure out a way to limit, Lamar's mobility. Can you make Lamar a pure pocket passer? That's the question. If you can make him throw the ball 35, 40 times, you got a chance in this football game. If you can't stop the run, like last week, I think what they ended up doing against Buffalo was they did a too high safety look. They basically dared them to throw the ball deep, which they didn't. And Buffalo just ran it down their throats. Yep. They threw the ball short all game. I don't think they're going to do that against Baltimore. It's going to be the inverse of that. So the real question is, can you hit a couple of plays to either the tight ends or, some of the guys like Zay Flowers or something to open up that run game? And I'm not sure about that, but I still like Baltimore in the game, but you're not going to make a lot of money betting against Mahomes with the spread. So money line's probably the play here with Baltimore and taking the points with the Chiefs. In the article I wrote that you should take Baltimore because they're going to win. They're going to win by margin. 4 points is a little weird, kind of a weird tweener spread, but I know you like Kansas City in the points here.
I do, but the more I think about it, I almost think this should be like a 5.5. So if you feel comfortable taking Baltimore, there's so many variables that go into Baltimore's favor, but it's just I think it comes back to it's kind of like the money market, right? It's all about fear and about what can happen. It's like you don't want to be the idiot that bet against Patrick Mahomes,
right?
I think this might be that 1 out of 10 that you could feel comfortable about it, honestly. So if you want to ride Baltimore, before we even started this podcast, I told you Baltimore was going to win the Super Bowl this year. Yeah. And then I picked the Bengals because I got suckered into it. So, but yeah, I'm going with the number more than anything else. If you can, if it goes up to like 5.5, I would take Kansas City.
But maybe it's a better in-game situation.
You could.
Yeah. The bottom line is somebody's going to jump out. I think that Baltimore, the way it sets up, they're not really a comfort behind team either. So if the Chiefs can get up early, get 7 points, 10 points up, then you got a different ballgame. Totally different ballgame. So let's talk about some of the props because I think there are some angles here you can look at. Mahomes loves to run the football in these big games. It's not necessarily planned runs like Lamar's going to get, but I didn't hit this prop early enough. It was 25.5 when it opened. Now it's 27.5, but I'm still going to go over the Mahomes rushing prop because he always likes to get those scrambles in, especially long third downs and such.
Especially since his wide receivers don't get open.
Oh my God, we'll see. Because one of your guys, the biggest thing is like Kelsey. He was pretty good last week. It was more that everybody caught the ball last week. I mean, everybody was like, "Oh my God!" MVS caught like 2 tough balls. What the hell happened?
Yeah, where's this team been all year?
Exactly. They had what's his name, Conley or something. Who else was the guy? Like he didn't play all year and just caught a football.
I think it was like,
Conley. Who the hell is that? I also like Pacheco because I think they're going to have to check down a little bit, even though he's a little banged up, which worries me. But I already made this bet, over 3.5 receptions that he'll get some check downs because he's a violent runner, but he's good. He's been catching the ball a little bit more too.
Yeah, they're definitely going to involve him. And Harbaugh and them, they're going to get blitzed. Or I said, Harbaugh is going to be blitzing them and Mike McDonald and all them guys. So they're going to have to get the ball out quick. They're not
they have great linebackers for the Ravens. Yes. So I'm not saying he's going to get a ton of yards, but they're going to do some checkdowns.
Absolutely.
And then I heard, the guy Paul Charchian, who's like a fantasy guru guy. He's given out a lot of good props in the playoffs. He loves Justice Hill over receiving yards, 13.5, pretty low number, but he's been involved, and his total yardage prop is like 43 or something like that. He loves that one too. But.
Yeah, the only thing that would bother me though is Dalvin Cook had 8 carries last week. They actually did involve him in that run game a little bit.
I know, it's weird.
Even just playing time, because I think Gus Edwards had 10 carries, so he's right there with him. That's the only thing that I would worry about is just that volume and usage.
And that's why Gus's props are going down this week because he's not doing as well.
But. Yeah, and then I think with the total on this one too, I did a teaser, so I teased this one up to 44. Or excuse me, I teased this one up to 47.5, and I teased the San Francisco total down to 48.
Okay, so you're going over in both, or you're going under?
I'm going over in both, but I'm teasing this one up.
So you teased it up even more, so it's at 44.5. You like it to 47.5 over.
Yep.
And then you like the other one. I
teased the other one down to 48 and still took the over on that one.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't like that 51.5.
Okay. Well, I understand it's a weird number, but. Yeah, I like this. I think this is going to be a tough game. I don't know. We'll see. Both these defenses are pretty good, so I don't necessarily expect a laser light show. Well, here's the thing. Somebody said he's not part of the Scripps crowd, Coop.
Right.
But my God, I mean, that they want fucking Taylor Swift and Mahomes in the goddamn Super Bowl. I mean, that's the only thing. That's the only reason why I'm like, in full disclosure, I already bet on the Chiefs because I'm hedging my Baltimore future. Mine's like 12. I can win like whatever, $350 if Baltimore wins it all, right?
Okay.
So now I'm just hedging a little bit, $50 here, because if they lose, then at least I win something. Right. Whatever, I get 80 back.
And they got Smith refereeing. What was his first name?
Sean Smith.
I think something like that. Yeah.
Sean Smith is supposedly notorious about against the home team.
Yeah.
And you put out the stats and you sent it to me, but it's something like against the spread, they're like 37% or something.
Yes.
Winning against the spread home team.
Which is like the lowest of any official by like 15%.
50-50 usually in that proposition. And then straight up, it goes from like, it was like 73% down to like below 50% the home team.
Yeah, I think it was like 48 or something like that. It was insane. So
Sean Smith.
We'll see. Well, that script crowd's going to be barking this weekend, I think.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, we have to see the Andy Reid and Mahomes commercials like 85,000 times.
Yeah. I don't like a lot of props in that game either.
No,
to your point, I think it could be a pretty knock them out, drag them out, ball dominant, control the clock kind of game.
What you should be doing is do the unders, right? But I mean, who does that?
Life's way too short to bet the under.
Okay, so the second game is Detroit at San Francisco. As I checked before, it's up to 7.5 in some places, between 7 and 7.5. Totals up to 51.5. You don't like that number. Here's what I'll say. Right now, people are supposedly betting the Lions. Again, reverse line movement. Line's going up. It opened at 7. It's always been there, and now it's going to 7.5. Yet the Lions are getting 71% of the bets and 68% of the money. Maybe that's going to switch closer to game time. So what is the stat you're going to throw on this game?
Well, a lot of people have kind of shit on Detroit's defensive line, but they've actually been pretty good back half of the season. So they've had multiple sacks in 8 straight games. Mm-hmm. So, the San Francisco offensive line might be a little banged up. They obviously, they have their weaknesses, or they've had their moments where they weren't very good. So,
Right.
and Brock Purdy in the last 3 games has been very susceptible to average play, to say the least. So he's only had 3 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in his last 3 games with a passer rating of 79. So we're gonna see
the MVP.
Yeah, I was going to say he hasn't had a pretty good go at it, and again with Debo not being healthy, we've seen all the statistics of that team when Debo doesn't play. They're totally different. Yeah, absolutely. So you can't expect him to elevate the rest of the team around him. So we're definitely going to see. I think it's too big of a number, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I wrote in the article, 7's too big. Now, there's a lot of people San Francisco's going to play better than they did last week. They looked like crap. They came out badly. It's not raining, yada, yada. But, like you said, defensive line, they're not going to run that much against San Francisco. Detroit stops the run. Their secondary is garbage, but they stop the run. So it's going to be, like you said, in Purdy's hands. Do you really trust Purdy to not turn the ball over? Because he throws the ball the other team at least once a game that doesn't get caught. And then the other thing is he going to make the right decisions? Last week when we were, I guess I was home when I watched that game, he had checkdowns all game. He was just not throwing it. He had checkdowns. He was not throwing the check down. He was trying to get Kittle going deep, trying to get Ayuk. He needs to take what the defense gives them, and especially against this Detroit team that, let's face it, they have some pass rushers. You wait too long, they're going to get hit. So I hear you. I do like Detroit in the points here. I mean, San Francisco, again, I have to bet on them for the future. 10-1 for Detroit to win. So I win some money there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I win. It's like 270. Not bad. So I'm rooting for Detroit, man.
Yeah, we're looking for a Detroit-Baltimore Super Bowl.
Detroit-Baltimore Super Bowl.
That way we're all winners. Yeah.
Everybody's a winner. So here's some props that I looked at, and I haven't bet them all, but Gibbs, he's been awesome in both playoff wins. Granted, that's indoor on the turf, but over 73.5 total yards. Again, I was a little slow to this one. It was 70.5 like 2 days ago. I should have jumped on it. It's now at minus 113. I do like him in his over props. Montgomery. Now, this is a little weird. I think they're going to try to run the ball against San Francisco to control the clock like Green Bay did. I don't love his rushing yards prop, which is 43.5, but I do like come on, let's do a little pizza money. 2 touchdowns for Montgomery. Sounds a little weird because Gibbs should be the guy, but he's plus 1,100, whereas Gibbs is like plus 850 on this one. So I went with that. I do like him getting the short yardage. Tell me about your Donovan's People Jones.
Oh man,
prop.
did you look at this after? I was gonna say, did you add this?
Oh,
Or
I
did you already
it.
have it?
I added it.
Yeah, because I love Donovan Peoples-Jones this week. He was kind of a late addition. They traded him from Cleveland at the end of the season. He got some targets, I think, the last week of the season against Minnesota. But with Josh Reynolds questionable and their fourth.
Williams?
No, the other one, the little guy, Khalif Raymond. Khalif Raymond is also questionable. Donovan Peoples-Jones is their slated 5th wide receiver on the depth chart, but he could definitely get some playing time in 3 wide receiver sets. And if San Francisco does play a lot better, they could jump out to a quick lead. That means that they're going to have to throw the football. So
I couldn't find any of his yardage or reception props.
I can't either.
But I found his anytime touchdown.
Yeah, anytime you can take him anytime touchdown. But as soon as you can find any kind of reception props or yardage props, I would hammer them. I would take the over. The only one I could find was like 0.5 receptions, but you couldn't bet on it yet for some reason. So it was just on the internet. So I don't know if they know something that we don't. I know he's really cheap on DraftKings. I think he's like 3,000 for lineup. So I would definitely throw him in a lineup. I don't know if I would partner him or pair him with anybody, but definitely a cheap wide receiver that I think has a lot of upside going into this weekend.
Yeah, and we the most underrated wide receiver in the playoffs right now in the NFL probably is our guy St. Brown. The guy is incredible. He's awesome.
He's really good.
He may actually be the best receiver left in the playoffs, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know if Debo's banged up.
Right.
So San Francisco doesn't have, I like Ayuk, but that's situational. I don't think the Ravens have a better receiver. And the Chiefs don't have a better wide receiver. They have a better tight end. But he's a really underrated player. I don't know about his yardage, but I like his receptions prop. And the guy's just a stud, man. He's a yak guy too. He just catches and goes.
He's tough too for being a little guy too. Oh. He's relentless.
You've ever seen the old videos of him and his brother and his dad? They had him lifting weights at like 4 years old. Oh my God,
this guy was god. Come on.
He was like pumping iron when he was like fucking 5 years old, man. All right, so let's talk about the 49ers props. We both like a couple of these, and probably around this Debo narrative that he's probably not going to play that much. Ayuk has done very well with Debo out of the lineup. I really like him a lot, and mainly that an outside receiver in the last 5 games, and granted these names are pretty good, has gotten at least 140 yards against the Lions defense in the last 5 games straight.
Yeah.
Now you had, going way back, you've got Jefferson had 141 yards the first time they played him.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb, 227. Jefferson had 192 the second time. Of course, Puka in the first playoff game was 181, and Evans had 147. So for me, look, the easy money, the easy cheese is 80.5. That's kind of his baseline. That's minus 114. I'm going all the way up. 109.5 yards. Let's go Ayuk. Let's have a game plus 245. I also would like his receptions over 5.5, which is plus 115. I haven't made the second bet, but I made the first.
No, I like that too, because even with the best quarterback on that list is probably Matt Stafford, and Justin Jefferson went off twice with like Nate Mullins throwing him the ball.
Nick Mullins,
I'm sure Brock Purdy is a little better than Nick
It's
Mullins. It's
going to be a beautiful 70-degree day. It's going to be raining out there because he can't grip the ball. He's like massaging the ball in his chest. He can't throw the damn ball with the rain.
I do like where your head's at on that for sure. I think Kittle is the one to pile on this week. I think, like to your point, Detroit's really bad in the middle of their defense. And C.J. Gardner-Johnson, even though he talks a lot of shit, he doesn't cover the greatest. He may hit people really hard, but he's not the greatest covered safety in the league. I would take every over prop that you can find, receptions, yards. I think I found it at 61 and a half total yards and then 4.5 receptions.
Now, was that a parlay? I wasn't sure when you wrote that.
Yeah, we could put that. We put it together. Okay. And then anytime touchdown score is plus 170. So if you really want to sprinkle some cheddar, you could even double down, maybe 2 touchdowns. So, but I would hope they like to run the ball a little more this game too. And then I had Juwan Jennings. I think even with Debo out, I think Juwan Jennings anytime touchdown. I think he had one last week.
He had a touchdown. He played really well. He had 2 great catches in that game.
And then you could even sprinkle Ronnie Bell in there if you really wanted to, depending on how banged up Debo really is, or maybe he takes a big hit in the beginning of the game and they rule him out again. So, I think definitely one of those bottom tier receivers has a chance to definitely get in the end zone.
No, and I don't like to do negative props or you go under props, but I don't really love McCaffrey's rushing prop in this game. So that would be an under prop that I would probably look at because
I like his over receptions.
Yeah, receptions, sure. They're going to hit him out of the backfield, but the Lions aren't going to give up big runs. Although, White had a pretty good game before they abandoned the run.
Yeah.
In the Tampa game. Well, let's talk about some of the best bets then. So let me just review it. So we said that we like. So you want to make sure we got. So I'm not telling you to bet the points with the Ravens, but the numbers tell you that. Okay. I personally like the under at 44.5. I do think Baltimore's going to win the football game. I do have to hedge that, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then in that game, which one you're going to stick with taking the points? Right?
I'll take the points, the Chiefs. I don't feel good about it, but I can understand your positioning though. I could be swayed into the Ravens. I can see
you're
it.
Not anymore. Let's just stick with your.
Yeah, because Kyle Hamilton is going to get rid of Travis Kelce. I mean, he's just as big as Travis Kelce.
Right.
So I believe that from that standpoint, if you feel really strong about the Ravens, I don't blame you one bit.
Yeah, and you like the over there, and then in
I
Detroit,
do like the over,
I think we both like taking the points for Detroit, especially at 7.5.
Oh yeah,
and then we both like the over 51.5.
Yeah, I think I teased it down. Yeah, I teased it down to 48. So 48.5.
So in pocket, here's what I have right now, Coop. I mean, it's a little complicated. So as I mentioned, the 2 different hedges I have. I did bet the Kansas City money line plus 163, mainly to hedge my Baltimore future for the Super Bowl. Now, San Francisco, this one hurts because it's a minus 360 money line.
Oh, yikes.
But what are you going to do? I'm trying to guarantee myself a very small profit if San Francisco wins. So it's very small. But I'd rather take a little money back than, if the Lions shock the world and everybody's happy, then I win more money, which is awesome. And then in pocket, I do have the Mahomes 27.5 yards rushing over minus 105. Pacheco over 3.5 receptions plus 125. Justice Hill over 13.5 receiving yards minus 109. And then in the Detroit San Francisco game, I went bigger on this one, a little more cheddar. 2 touchdowns rushing, or it doesn't have to be right. 2 touchdowns from Montgomery plus 1,100, and Ayuk over the 109.5 yards receiving plus 245.
And then the ones I have in pocket are the Kittle player props of the 61.5 on the yardage and then 4.5 on the reception. And then I also have the Juwan Jennings anytime touchdown score at plus 270.
Nice.
And then, like I said, I have the totals working.
And then you're going to be looking for that Donovan Peoples.
Yeah. Keep your eyes open.
You might need to go to the River Sportsbook and talk them into a bet.
Honestly, because I'm telling you, there's got to be something that they know that we don't. So, because for both of them to be on the questionable on their injury report, and then neither Josh Reynolds nor Khalif Raymond have made a big impact all year. I mean, Josh Reynolds had a 2 touchdown game in week 3 or week 4.
Right.
But ever since then, they've been kind of invisible. So
the anytime touchdown may be good because doesn't does he return kicks sometimes?
He might play special teams, but Yeah, I like the DVP, if you will. Yeah, it's Michigan. It's the year of Michigan.
It is.
The Lions are in the NFC. They won the championship, and for the Wolverines, he's a Wolverine. I think it all makes sense. It's kind of like the Mason Rudolph on Christmas.
What happened to the Pistons?
Yeah, well, they had to sacrifice something.
So we got to figure out where we're going to watch this football game. These football games. I mean, no pressure, but it's the situation to happen. I'm not sure if that's a good choice right now. Maybe O'Donovan's. I don't know. We're trying to get a couple of people together. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Any thoughts? Any thoughts?
No. I was gonna say I was kind of hoping you had an idea. Honestly, you've been living here longer.
I know. I mean, it's tough because you haven't watched a lot of games before Shadows. I probably still will go there at some point. Maybe not this week. We'll see. And then. O'Donovan's is good. I like their back patio area. They're a nice area, but I'll brainstorm it. I'll put it out to everybody. I know everybody wants to join us.
Yeah.
There's 3 or 4 people that are waiting with bated breath on where we're going, but we'll watch the game somewhere on Sunday.
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing a Super Bowl party at Steps. I don't know if that's what we're going to do it or not. So
Nice.
Figured it'd be a good spot for it.
Very good. And then, as we mentioned, you're not going to make it tonight to the dating event. It's kind of a goofy dating event.
Yeah, wing woman, eh?
Wing woman. Well, it's bring your wing person, and then they have to sell you to the other person at like some sort of speed dating quad event. So,
yeah, it's you, Lee, and Arpan, right?
Yeah, supposedly. I don't know if Arpan's going to make it. I know that Lee, as you know, Lieutenant Kaz, he had ACL reconstructed on Tuesday. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know he had
I picked him up from the hospital.
Okay.
So
is he on crutches or?
He's supposed to be on crutches, but I guess he doesn't have to be after 3 days, but that was Tuesday. So this is the 3rd day. So is he going to show up on crutches for sympathy?
He should. Why wouldn't he, right?
I think he should. So I was double checking with him before I bought the ticket. Are we still doing this? And, but we're going to do it. My friend Aisha is going to join me, and then you're going to meet up afterwards, I hope.
Hopefully, yeah.
Supposedly Nicole's going to bring some friends out. We'll see if that's true.
Okay.
I don't know why she couldn't come up with a friend to be your
Yeah, that's all right. So I got laundry I got to put away. Honestly, I did all that laundry when we got back from Florida.
Trust me, it's everywhere hanging around my apartment right now. So then you're also going to go to the Urso band gig on Saturday night.
Yeah, we got Hamlin, and then they're doing a band. I still can't believe you haven't met Urso either. That still blows my mind.
I don't know. I don't even know what he looks like. I've known his name, Chris Urso.
Right? John.
There's
brother.
2, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I still can't believe you never met Urso. That just still blows my mind. So
maybe I have.
Just very forgettable. Yeah, he's got a very forgettable face. That.
Well, and then I'm having dinner with my buddy. We're going to Pequod's, which is now like uber popular since The Bear. Have you ever seen that show?
No.
The Bear is a great show. You should watch it. It's set in Chicago about this like chef who takes over a Chicago beef stand and like makes it magic.
Interesting.
But they in the 2nd season they do this special thing where they use Pequod's pizza. Have you been to Pequod's yet?
No, I have not.
It's tough to get in there now, but Pequod's it's a really good deep dish. I know that deep dish isn't popular for everybody, but it's probably the best deep dish in the city.
Shit. Yeah, we gotta try that.
So anyway, my buddy and I, it's his birthday next week. We kind of get together for dinner. We're gonna do that first. Maybe I'll swing by the thing afterwards.
Hell yeah. I know where we're living.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still drying. I'm still dry in January. Besides my what was it? It was a damp January in Florida.
Yeah, just a little bit of rain. Nothing too crazy. Just a little bit of rain.
Just a light rain.
Just a lot. Yeah, game's been called on account of rain.
That's right. All right, buddy. Well, hey, follow me at Wegspool on Twitter and on Instagram. Follow us at Side Action Pod on Twitter and Side Action Podcast on Instagram.
And you can check me out on Twitter at Mr. Grumpy Gills, on Instagram at Dalton Cooper. We are the Side Action Pod. Check us out on Twitter at Side Action Podcast. And on Instagram at Side Action Pod. We're still
on YouTube.
Champions.
We're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube as well.
Look at the bell.
We're champions, and that can't be taken from us until next year. So good luck on your bets. Happy bets.
Yeah.
We got to enjoy football while it's still here.
I know. We've got 3 more games. It's sad.
I hate you that you just said that. That just makes my heart.
You want me to include the Pro Bowl? There's 4 games.
Oh, yeah.
It's flag football.
And the flag. Oh my God! And dodgeball. There's like 5 or 6 games left. Never mind. All right, we're in a little bit better spirits now.
The Senior Bowl too.
The Senior Bowl. Then the draft. Oh my God. We're right there.
You're back.
And we're back. Yeah. I just can't wait till the Bears trade the #1 pick, and then we all figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
But anyway, we'll see you next week, guys. Enjoy your football.
All right.